Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to another video, my friends. We got ourselves a big update here on the weather for you guys as we have a big storm system that we are watching here that's going to be causing a bunch of problems for the United States East Coast, so definitely want to stay tuned for that. But guys, before we go ahead and get on into it, if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Good to see you guys. If you guys could, consider leaving a like, hitting that subscribe button. That way you can help spread the awareness. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into it. So, we have ourselves a low-pressure system that is set to develop here over the next few days. Here for the 11th is when it really starts to kick off here. Obviously, we have Jerry still kind of just pulling north of, the Virgin Islands. Thankfully, the impacts will be relatively minimal for those areas, which is, definitely some good news here overall. But we work our way down in time, and you can see this low really coming up towards the mid-Atlantic coast and the northeast here. This is on the 12th. So that is when we're going to be seeing some of the most heaviest of the impacts here with this system overall. And then, of course, we work our way further down in time, and the system just kind of stalls out potentially and just kind of goes its way out to the, out the sea, essentially. So that is what the GFS suggests. The Euro, the ECMWF here also kind of agrees with that exact approach as well. You can see that low just off the mid-Atlantic coast here in the northeast here overall, but definitely quite a strong low. Now, if we take a look here over at the wind gusts here, we'll actually go ahead and hop way over here to the accumulated wind gusts here from the ECMWF here, the Euro model. And honestly, this model is definitely pretty aggressive on the potential wind speeds here with this storm system. You can see just across the coast of, New Jersey, we possibly could be seeing 60, maybe even upwards of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts across some of these coastal areas, according to the Euro model. Interior New Jersey, a good 40, 50-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts as well. Same thing for Long Island. Connecticut, a little bit lower, kind of more in the threshold of like maybe upwards of 40 to 50, maybe 30 to 40 up there towards like Massachusetts. So the green kind of represents mostly 30 to upwards of 40 miles an hour. Then once you start to push into the yellow, that's where it kind of goes 40 to 50 here overall. But anyways, a lot of really, really strong winds is going to be a good possibility here, according to not just the Euro, but now looking over here at the GFS model, you can actually see that, they're pretty much in sync here for the most part. Not quite near 70 according to GFS. It's a little bit short of that, but still 60 mile an hour, gusts is certainly a big concern here overall. So definitely got to look out there for that. Interior, portions of New Jersey, still 50-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible. So definitely going to be a big concern regarding the winds there overall. Now, let's actually hop our way over here to precipitation. We're going to take a look here at the total amounts of rainfall with the system. So, we really could be seeing quite a bit of precipitation. This actually starts all the way down towards Florida's coast here. We could pick up a couple of inches according to the GFS model. Then we work our way over here in towards like coastal North Carolina. You can see some areas could see quite a bit of precipitation here overall. Central Eastern North Carolina, anywhere from 2 to possibly 4 inches or more could be a good potential. Eastern Virginia, possibly 2 or more inches as well. And then, of course, a lot of that precipitation does work its way up here into the northeast here as well. Maybe a good 1 or 2 inches, locally higher amounts, according to the GFS model. Now, in terms of the Euro, the ECMWF here with the precipitation, a lot of rain still, a bit of a concern for the eastern Carolinas here. Several inches, maybe 4 or more inches will be quite possible for some of these regions here. Also quite a bit for New Jersey here as well. Several inches will be a good potential out here as well. Then, of course, we have some of those, maybe 2 to 3 inch range kind of working their way into like Pennsylvania. So regardless, Euro, GFS, they both agree on a lot of precipitation, a lot of strong winds here with this system. So you guys definitely need to be watching this one pretty closely. Now, in terms of Jerry here, so taking a look overall at Jerry, actually, we'll go ahead and bring over this here for you guys. So this is the current view of Jerry. You can see, it's not really, the best looking, but we do got a pretty good amount of convection going through here with the system. It's been kind of encountering a little bit of wind shear. It is still a tropical storm. Right now we're sustained right around 65 miles per hour. Central low, I believe now is like 997 here. Let me actually go ahead and bring up the Hurricane Center here. The pressure is down to, 1,000. Actually went up a little bit, here in the latest update. So, it's not a hurricane quite yet. but it will become a hurricane here pretty much for the evening tomorrow. That's when it's expected to become a Category 1 storm, and that's actually max strength on the system, as we pull north and eventually to the east, staying well clear of Bermuda, which is definitely some good news. So, like I said, minimal impacts with the system. We still do have some tropical storm watches in effect here. Even a couple of warnings actually have just been issued from the Hurricane Center. You can see up there by Barbuda, the cone actually has this thing, or the system going right next to Barbuda, and tropical storm warnings are in effect here. Also up there by St. Martin, we do have some tropical storm warnings in effect as well. They're in the blue, and then of course the yellow kind of indicating those tropical storm watches where tropical storm conditions could be quite possible overall. So that is that. Like I said, not a whole lot with Jerry. I mean, we'll continue to watch it over the next few days, but like I said, mostly going to be a fish storm for the most part. A little bit of impacts out there by the Antilles. So we'll definitely keep an eye out there for it there overall. But everybody, you guys please be careful out there, especially with that coastal storm we were talking about here. We'll definitely be watching it. Once again, if you guys could leave a like, hit that subscribe button, it'd be greatly appreciated. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.